Welcome to an awesome art guide. Today I'll be showing you how to reach level 100 fast. It does require a tiny bit of prep beforehand, so we'll get into that later in the video. For now, you go to Scorched, head over to Blue Lobby. Then once you're to Blue Lobby, head left, head up to this 4 times note up here. When I get up here, I'll have to recover stamina and show you around. Alright, if you notice, I've already gotten a couple of 2x notes. Okay, so you're going to want to pick up probably 5 to 6 2x notes as well before you come grab this 4x note. Okay, if you don't know where the 2x notes are on Scorched Earth, I'll put a link in the description down below that'll show you kind of where they're at. Okay. Once we grab this 4x note, we're going to head over to about 10:20, and there we're going to fight death worms. Okay. So the prep I'm talking about, you're going to need a pterodon and a megatherium, ghillie armor, if you can, med brews. If you want a long neck with some ammo, I just use a sword in this. Sword's fine. And then, of course, any PvP gear you might need. Since in just starting out, you notice I have a torch as my PvP weapon. So if somebody attacks me with flak, I can bolo them and torch them. So that's a good thing to do. Starting out early game, when all you get are print weapons, a torch is your best weapon, really. Okay, so we're going to head down here and fight these. Now that I have a Megatherium and a Pterodon, I went and tamed. You can do when you fly or you want. If you want to go grab Crystal and head over to Crystal Isles and get a passive tame a Crystal Wyvern, you can do that. For me, Pterodon's easy. Pop over to Ragnarok with some Trank arrows, knock one out, go kill a sheep, put mutton on it, bam, easy tame. Drop the saddle on it, fly over, trap a Megatherium, knock it out, give it mutton, bam, done. Head to Scorched Earth, and then here we are. You can do this solo or you can do this as a tribe. If you come over here with a tribe, they're gonna definitely need to be on mounts. It's really hard to survive in the desert on foot, especially as often as your water drains if you're not on a mount. Okay, so I'll go ahead and talk about this run here. You're going to start here at the salt pile. Alright, you notice I'm going to put a sleeping bag down here just in case. I always have one on me just in case I'm about to die. I can drop it down. Then, so what you'll do is you'll start here. This is somewhere close to 10:20. So at 10:10, there's usually a person. There's usually a base. Someone's usually got a base around this area. Just watch for turrets, watch for bases, and then once you get here, there's a salt pile here. You start at it. You run to the right here, and use K mode to look through. And look, there's see a death worm there. So we're gonna head up to the dunes. We're going to go ahead and fight the death worm, but if there wasn't one, we would have kept heading toward Blue Lobby, kind of staying in the desert, but not too far to the left, right? So what we can create what you're doing is creating a big spawn area. So as you de-render this area and re-render it, things will spawn. So death worms, you can have up to 3 death worms, I think, spawning in this area at once. So you can just force death worms to spawn by de-rendering and re-rendering a specific area. I believe it's between 10:20 and 10:30, and then you just want to, from the 0 to the 15 line, just render those in. So you just go. So we'll fight this guy real quick and watch. You notice the lines on his chest as you're hitting him, getting more and more, and they reach. This takes just some practice of learning when fighting death worms, but watch how when they build up to a certain point, if you pull a gun out and shoot it, you get 100% of the experience points. Right? If you just kill it on the Megatherium, you get 50% of the experience points, which is what everyone else in your tribe will get as well if they're here with you, as long as they dismount. So if you do have more people helping you, if they can just be mounted on anything really, not helping fight, right? And they can just hop off. Well, you tell them it's about to die, you wait, they hop off, you kill it. So here's another death worm to our right. All we did was de-render a little bit of an area, and we haven't de-rendered the whole thing yet. Another one spawned, so we'll head over here and fight it. But anyway, they dismount, Alright, you kill it, they remount. If they're on Megatheriums helping you out, then one of you just stands there taking the hits while the others back off to a safe distance. As long as you're still close enough to get XP, then they dismount. Then you kill it and they remount. If you kill it while they're mounted, only their mount gets XP. But the person that is mounted that kills it gets at least 50% of the XP. If you kill it with a weapon, you get more of that. You get 100% of the XP, and your dino doesn't get any. So when your Megatherium's just freshly tamed, you know you're going to do this, you're going to want to kill them with the Megatheriums at first, so you can level the Megatherium up as well. You see here, you can see his lines, he's about to die, in a couple more swipes he'll be dead. This is where you would stop and back off, or pull out a weapon and shoot it. So I'm going to pull out a weapon and I'm going to finish it with a sword. So yeah, you can do this with a sword, or you can do it with a gun, whichever. I gained 3 more levels. I gained 3 levels instead of 2 from last time. And each of those levels was worth more XP, so if I'd pulled out the sword on the first one I killed, I probably would have gained 6 or 7 levels off of it. Well, maybe not. Maybe 5 levels, but still, I gained 3 off of that. Alright. So, see if it'll let me show you the thing again, or, yeah, you just keep running this way toward Blue Lobby. You'll go to about, I think it's about 10:30. It'll be a salt pile. And then you'll just turn left and head to the, so I think it's this salt pile here, and then you turn left and head toward the border wall. And then once you reach the border wall, you can do another left turn. And this is going to be like NASCAR racing, right? Left turns, left turns. Okay, no, that wasn't quite. And then see how I go a little bit farther out? That's just to make sure, do a big circle around it to de-render everything. So there we go, now the death worms spawned in. But you'll head to the border wall, and then you run along the edge of the border wall. Don't be too close to it in case they do some kind of mesh detection. You don't want to get mesh detected and killed. Try not to run against it. But you just run on it, and you just make a big circuit out here. You know, we're making left turns like NASCAR. I think maybe NASCAR might be right turns still. Yeah, and that's pretty much all there is to it. You just run circles out here killing these death worms. If your Megatherium looks like it's going to drop below 50% health, you'll need to stop and hand feed it some meat. Doesn't take very long to get it back up to health at all. You'll probably want to pump its melee to about 600% and then start pumping health after that. As far as leveling your Megatherium goes. Yeah, so you just watch these. This is an event going on right now. So I am leveling a little faster than I would without the event. A Breath of Enlightenment would help level you faster if you can get one of those before you come out here. But either way, this is still really fast, even without the event going on. You can still level up really fast this way. You can go from your tribe already has stuff and can throw you out here at level 1 and give you the stuff you need to survive at level 1. You can go from level 1 to 100, I think, in 4 hours on just the normal experience for official servers. But yeah, you just run along this wall, and you come back to where you're just to the right of the salt pile you started at, and then you'll turn and head toward the salt pile that you started at, and you do a circle around it, and you'll restart the whole line again. See, and there we go, 2 more death worms to spawn. Some death worms will despawn as you're running toward them, it's just part of it, but you can just constantly spawn them here. Okay. So as, alright, so tribe level up, I believe I covered that, and then covered all the prep you need. But ghillie armor is especially important if you die. You don't want to die to the desert heat, right? And I had 8 med brews when I came out here and started this. If I hadn't had the 8 med brews, I might not have survived the desert from the cold and heat. I might have died and lost my experience point, you know, my extra notes there. But I only needed an 8, so they're really easy to make, especially once you have a Megatherium. You can get narco berries like that, and make the narcotics, throw out a cooker next to the water source, and just fill it up, and just, you know, throw the narco berries and narcotics in it. Not tinto berries and narcotics in it. Med brews, easy. Okay, so it doesn't take a whole lot of prep time. You know, it takes an hour to tame a Megatherium. You know, it takes, what is it, 30 minutes to tame a pterodon, so there you go, an hour and a half for taming. And then if you do a note run to get your level so that you can hit level 53, I think it's you need to be to craft flak and all that, because you're probably going to want flak when you go to tame the Megatherium and stuff, just in case something happens. It always helps to have flak on, rather than hide armor. But you can do it naked, whatever, however you want to do it to save time. But note run on the island can get you to level 53 super fast, and then once you're level 53, you can go hit some metal on top of a mountain, make some flak, make your tools, your crossbows, and your sword and stuff, and then head over. Go ahead and make your trank arrows that you're gonna need to tame the Pterodon and the Megatherium. You can always, I don't think you have to narc the Megatherium up. Yeah, I think you will have to narc the Pterodon up a little bit before, if it's a normal no event taming period. I think it wakes up after 20 minutes, so you probably got to do like 200 or 300 narco berries, or maybe like 100 narcotics, but it's not bad. Probably to get to the point where you can fight the death worms. I'd say if everything went perfect for you and you didn't get arced, then you could do it in it's an hour and a half for just the taming, and then you want to do the crafting and the note run. Probably 3 hours, maybe. That's estimating high. You could really 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you have everything and be knocking your tames out if you're moving really fast, even solo. If you're with a group, even faster, right? So yeah, so 30 minutes to 3 hours for prepping, and then probably no more than 4 hours for killing death worms. That includes time for sitting there, hand feeding them, and stuff like that. So that's how you do it. And if you don't have Scorched Earth expansion pack, I will release a video later on how to level up to 100 fast on the island. It's also slightly faster than this method, but it requires a little more prep time. You have to have a full set of scuba, which requires level 83 to make. So you have to be able to get to level 83. That takes a little bit longer. Right now there is a Valentine's event going on. You can hit level 90. Once you tame the Pterodon, you can just fly around on the island collecting all of the 4x notes and hitting all the 2x notes in between the 4x note, doing a full circuit around the island in about 30 minutes. You'll be level 90. Then you can craft the scuba, but to get to level 100 fast on the island using the scuba, you need to have the 4x notes available. So it can take a little work. This is probably the fastest way to hit level 100 right off the bat, so you can start getting those heavies down on your base on day 1. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever used this method before or not, or if this is the first time you've seen it. I have a lot more methods I can show you, and different ways of playing Ark that will you might not have known about, that could change everything, how the game works for you and how well you play. I'm used to playing this solo and duo. I'll usually go to a server just to have fun, just me and a buddy or something, and we'll just kind of go crazy. So I'm used to figuring out how to get built up and defend my bases and attack other people's bases, things like that, and get everything I need solo. And I'm also in a lot of alpha tribes throughout different servers as well, so I get to go back and have fun with some big massive fights whenever they get into big wars and stuff. So I'll be able to show you a lot of that that's going on. Recently, there was a new cross sector that came out that we kind of destroyed. We joined it a little bit late. The Chinese had most of the servers when we got there, and once the servers were locked, so you couldn't transfer items and stuff for a little while. So we had, I think, a month to build up and get ready. I think the Chinese had been there already for a month, maybe 2 months before we got there. And then as soon as the servers unlocked, we went to war with them, and we pretty much took over the entire cross arc and got rid of those Chinese. That was a lot of fun. I have a few videos from that. Unfortunately, I was in school at that time, finishing up my game development degree, so a lot of the videos I had to leave before the fights were completed, but I'll be able to put those up and show you kind of if you're interested. Alright, And here I am pulling out the sword again to kill the death worm. As you can see, the Megatherium's kind of hard to steer in first-person view with the weapon pulled out. Oh, right, one more tip about this, real quick. When fighting the death worms with the Megatherium, make absolutely sure to get the bug buff. Alright, you need to have that bug buff there on the top right where it looks like sap and the numbers. You gotta have that. If you don't have that when you start fighting them, they're going to destroy your Megatheriums. Alright, that bug buff gives you an insane amount of damage resistance and damage output. Without it, you cannot farm death worms with a Megatherium. Okay, and then the next tip for fighting the death worms is when you're fighting them, don't use your alternate attack that smashes the area around you. While some people will tell you it does more damage, technically I think it does more damage per hit, so it's better to use it for when you're harvesting stuff. But when you're fighting death worms, you want to be sprinting into them, and you can't use that while sprinting. And you want to be using your main attack, the quick swipe. It does just slightly less damage than your area attack, but it does. It hits more often, and when you're sprinting and swiping them, you're pushing them backwards, which means they're hitting you less often. Because while they're moving backwards, they hit. It's not quite half, but it's a little less than half. So instead of taking, say 10 hits, you're going to take 6 or 7 hits instead, which helps you just keep going before you have to stop and hand feed your Megatherium. Keep an eye on that bug buff and your stamina. Make sure you always know where the nearest bug is when fighting. That way, if your buff starts to run, it hits like 20, you probably want to just peel away from the death worm and go hit a bug, and then come back to fighting the death worm. Yeah, and another thing, when fighting one death worm, sometimes others will just spawn while you're fighting it, so you definitely want to make sure you know where those bugs are. If you run out of stamina and the bug buff, and there's multiple death worms, your Megatherium is dead. And you have to start all over. You have to start the taming process all over to come back. And another thing, death worms will kill the bugs too. So if a bug is nearby and it's attacking, it'll kill your bug, and then you won't get that bug buff. Alright, so that's all the advice I have for you on hitting level 100. Go ahead and speed this video up a little bit because you can just kind of see how this works. I believe it took me, once I had the experience notes and I started fighting the death worms, it took me around 35 minutes to hit level 100. So it doesn't take long at all. I was level 90 when I started, but if you're at level 1 when you start, I think you hit level 90 after 2 or 3 death worms. So you can see it really doesn't take long at all. If it's not a multiplier event like Weekend or like Valentine's and things like that, then if you can do it, make a Broth of Enlightenment, and that'll help a lot as well. If you can't do that, and the XP notes are great. Once the 4x runs out, it's fine. There's only one that's close by, and just keep going. Right, and the 2x notes, it'll take you a little longer. The longest it's ever taken me to do this from level 1 was I think 4 hours. And that was because who's not using Megatherium was using Rexes, and they have to constantly heal. Okay, and so there you go. I'm level 100, and that's pretty much all there is to it. It's very easy to do. Get there quickly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have an awesome week.